The Trinamool Congress swept the West Bengal Panchayat elections, winning a majority in the three tiers of the rural local government. The BJP a distant second, though it did increase its vote share. But now the blame game over the violence that dominated the elections, with over 40 people killed. The BJP has sent a fact-finding team to the state, while Mamata Banerjee retorted, asking where was such a team for Manipur.
अभी आपने देखा यूपी में बीजेपी ने स्वीप किया ना, क्या ग्राम पंचायत, क्या लोकल बॉडी, क्या नगर निगम, एक भी आपने वायलेंस सुना क्या? एक आध जगह रिपोल खाली हुआ। ये क्यों होता है बंगाल में? ये एक बहुत गंभीर सवाल है। मुझे बताया गया कल काउंटिंग में भी हत्या हुई है, काउंटिंग में भी पीटा गया है, और एक दो मुझे बताया गया कि कई बार लोग जीत गए, जीतने के बाद कहा गया कि तृणमूल में ज्वाइन करो, नहीं तो तुमको सर्टिफिकेट नहीं मिलेगा।
A BJP fact-finding team headed by senior leader Ravi Shankar Prasad in West Bengal after the conclusion of the Panchayat elections. Mamata Banerjee responded to Ravi Shankar Prasad's charge.
আর যারা বাংলার বদনাম করে বেড়ালেন, আবার fact-finding team পাঠিয়েছে। আর কত টিম পাঠাবেন বলতে পারেন? আমার ভাজপার এই অপদার্থ লিডারগুলোকে জিজ্ঞেস করি, যাদের সাহস নেই রুখে দাঁড়ানো। আমি আজকে দুঃখিত, কয়েকজন মারা গেছে বিক্ষিপ্ত ঘটনায়।
As the ruling Trinamool Congress celebrates its sweep in the Panchayat polls in West Bengal, the BJP is in a distant second position, despite an improved performance from the last rural polls in 2018, where the TMC won a huge number of seats uncontested. But with around 40 dead in these elections, the poll-related violence has taken off some of the shine of the TMC victory. Even the counting day ended with bullets being fired in Bhangur, in South 24 Parganas, where one person died and a police officer sustained injuries. Country-made bombs have been found and defused by a bomb squad team in Bhangur on Wednesday. Even this afternoon, bombs have been hurled in Murshidabad's Raghunathganj and Shamsherganj, where 7 people have lost their lives since Friday. The Trinamool Congress says the violence is a diversionary tactic as the opposition has failed to defeat the ruling party. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee announced compensation of rupees 2 lakh for the families of the dead and a government job for a family member. Today, the Calcutta High Court also said that the declared election results will be subjected to final orders in the petitions that the court is hearing on the Panchayat polls. Bengal's elections have always been violent, but this time around, there was hope of a peaceful election, with the ruling party, the Trinamool Congress, promising peaceful elections, the deployment of central forces and the Calcutta High Court's intervention. But in spite of all this, even this election has been characterized by violence. With camera person G.D. Shankar in Murshidabad, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
After heavy rain in North India, a crisis in Delhi as the Yamuna has risen to the highest level ever, breaking a 45-year-old record as houses, markets and roads are flooded. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal urged residents of low-lying areas to vacate their homes immediately and asked the centre to ensure no more water is released by Haryana. NDTV's Priyanshi sent us this report from the Yamuna.
Behind me is a 5-decade-old temple that has been completely submerged because of the level of the Yamuna River consistently rising. We are sitting in a boat right next to the Yamuna River. The Yamuna River is right here, and this is the Nigambodh Ghat area. And here you can see the establishments, the houses that people have made here have been completely submerged. In fact, that door that we are seeing gives you a reference of how high the water is. Even in the temple, you can't see any idols or anything in the temple behind me. You can't see any idols. You can only see half the tree because the water is, if we stand here, the water will come up to here, up to my neck if I stand in this water right now. And this is not in the middle of the river, mind you. This is a residential area. This is where people live. This is where the Nigambodh Ghat also is. This is where several small temples are. Right opposite to me, there's a school as well. So that shows you how this is a normal establishment, normal area where people live. but now it has been completely submerged because of the Yamuna river's water level rising. It's flowing close to a record high of above 207.4 meters. Such a level was last recorded in the year 1978 when Delhi saw floods in these areas, and even in 2013 the water level recorded was 207.32, but right now this time the water level has even crossed that mark that was reported in 2013. Let me also speak to some of the people here. Sir, अपना नाम अगर आप बता सकें और आप कितने साल से यहाँ रह रहे हैं?
मेरा नाम है महेश चंद शर्मा। मैं यहाँ पे करीब, मेरा जन्म ही यहीं का है। 43 की मेरी एज है। जब से बाढ़ की तो खैर आदत ही हो गई है हमें।
आदत हो गई, हर साल ऐसा देखते हैं या कब कब?
हर साल, बीच में कभी एक आध साल को नहीं आई है, नहीं तो हर साल आती है लगभग।
पर इस साल ज्यादा है।
इस साल ज़्यादा है।
इस साल पिछले सालों से ज्यादा है।
काफ़ी साल बाद इतना पानी आया है यहाँ।
जी, तो कैसे रह रहे हैं लोग यहाँ पर? जैसे हम देख रहे हैं घर पूरे ग्राउंड फ्लोर तो बह चुका है।
हम छत पे रह रहे हैं, अपने छत पे बना रखा है, वहाँ रह रहे हैं। नीचे का तो सब हमारा पानी भर गया, आप देख ही रहे हो।
And you can see upstairs on the terrace is where people have shifted their entire belongings, their clothes, their utensils, everything they've shifted upstairs because it's completely impossible to stay on the ground floor. No electricity, no water supply. Of course, it makes sense to not have electricity at such a time because there is a risk of electric currents as well. That man who just went from here, that shows you how deep the water is. In fact, that's the river Yamuna, ladies and gentlemen, that you're seeing on that side. This is river Yamuna, and from here it's the water that's coming into the Yamuna Bazaar area where people are living, and that Yamuna water is coming here.
News now from Himachal Pradesh, where the government rescued more stranded people today and is busy in clearing the debris from the roads. The Chief Minister has said infrastructure worth 4,000 crore has been destroyed. NDTV's Ankit Tyagi brings us this ground report.
This is the fate of the 4-lane expressway, which was just inaugurated about 2 to 3 years back, connecting Kullu to Manali. It promised to make the travel to Manali from Kullu quite swift, but look at the damage that the river Beas has done to this. In fact, beyond this point, you can't go ahead, and this is completely, the road has completely been washed away. You know, just to check what's happening on the other side of in the area which has been completely been washed off, the road which has been washed off, I've tried to come here. Let me show you one thing. This used to be a resort right on the Kullu Manali highway. Raisen is the place where it is situated. It's about 20 kilometers from Kullu Manali. Now, this used to be, as I'm telling you, on the main road. Now take a look at where it has come to. This is the river bank. There, that used to be the road. That used to be the road. That's the point from where we could make by car, and everything has been swept away by this Beas river. अगर मेन रोड जो नहीं चल रही है उसका एक रास्ता ये है, और इस जुगाड़ के सहारे लोग अब नगर पुल क्रॉस कर रहे हैं ऐसे. This is how people on the other side are managing all the goods of this area, and this is how they are bringing, you know, the things. Can you see that? Those boxes being taken, all that has been taken with this makeshift wooden, in fact, this CD, this staircase, which has been made by the people. Started the day trying to see and reach Manali on NH3, which is washed off at many areas. We showed you how at one place the road was completely washed off, and since then we climbed that area and we came to the NH3 to see the end point of till where you can go. Now we must have walked, Manali was about 20 kilometers from where we started. We have walked about 8 kilometers. Manali is still 12 kilometers from where I am. But this is the end point, ladies and gentlemen. You will see the National Highway 3 completely disappearing at this place. Just look at this boy who is trying to cross onto the other side. This is literally, and I'm not kidding right now, literally throwing your life, just testing your luck to its fullest. So that's how far we could come. 12 kilometers, Manali from here. And at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, I am signing off, trying to make my way from an alternate route to Manali with Joseph Ankit Tyagi, NDTV.
All right, frightening visuals there. But even as we're seeing heavy rain and floods in North India and other parts of the country, the monsoon is still in deficit, Divya reports.
And all the kind of rainfall that we've seen over the weekend in parts of Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Delhi and parts of Punjab and Haryana. On the other side, there's a drought-like situation in some parts of the country. Let me just first take you through the areas of concern, which includes Jharkhand at 43%, Mizoram at 39%, Manipur at 38%. That's the kind of deficit that we are seeing, almost close to 40%. In Bihar, the deficit is 33%, Kerala at 31%, so is the case in Telangana. 26% in the state of Karnataka, Odisha coming in at 26%, and of course we also have Arunachal Pradesh at 24%, Maharashtra close on the heels, and Tripura about 12%. And this in comparison to Ladakh, where the surplus is 365%, Chandigarh 220%, Rajasthan 155%, Delhi 130%, in Gujarat 114% surplus. And when we talk about Himachal Pradesh, which has been the worst impacted as far as this particular wet spell is concerned, 109%. In Punjab, 106% surplus has been noted, and close to 100% as far as Haryana goes. Now, when we take into account the distribution of the monsoon, which is very uneven this time around, in the north where we are seeing a 62% surplus, do remember the Met Office had said that the northern part of the country will not get enough rain. In fact, it will be to the tune of 92%. On the other side, we have a deficit in the east, which is 19%, but more so in the southern part of the country where monsoon starts at first from Kerala. That's the area where monsoon benefits from also a lot more, because the season carries on for a longer period of time. As far as central India is concerned, there's a 4% surplus there, and overall the country we are seeing a surplus of about 2%.
Tomato prices are soaring across the country, costing as much as 160 to 200 rupees a kilo, and this has even led to tomato robberies, people switching to tomato puree. But now the centre has stepped in and asked government departments to procure tomatoes from mandis and sell them at discounted rates.
Lovely red tomatoes, but they will leave your daily budget in deep trouble. 140 rupees per kg in Bengaluru. Head 62 kilometers from the city to Kolar, which is an important center for tomato procurement in the country. And a crate with 15 kg of tomatoes was auctioned for a whopping 2,200 rupees yesterday.
ಇವಾಗ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ 2-3 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ನಾಸಿಕ್ ಟೊಮೆಟೊ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಮಳೆಗಾಲಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಆನೆಕಲ್ ಮಳೆ ಬಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಇರೋ ಐಟಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಆಗಿ ರೈತರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ನಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿದೆ. ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ಕ್ರೇಟ್ ಬಂದು 1600 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ 14 ಕೆಜಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಬೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ 1.5 ಕೆಜಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ ದುಡ್ಡು. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿದೆ.
Unseasonal rains in April and May, which also fueled a fungal disease in the crop, has meant that price of tomatoes in the first week of June stood at 60 rupees. By July, it went up to 120 rupees. No wonder then that a vehicle transporting 2000 kg of tomatoes was robbed recently. Some are shifting to tomato puree to save money. But for the good old South Indian sambar and rasam, you need the real thing. And people have to pay up or miss out on a daily staple.
जब हम लोग बेसिक चीजें नहीं खरीद पाते हैं तो हम कैसे जिएंगे? हमने 40 रुपए में भी टमाटो खरीदा है, 30 रुपीस में भी हमने टमाटो खरीदा है. अभी जो टमाटो का प्राइस है 130 रुपया. अभी एक दिन पहले 130 रुपया था, आज 120 रुपया टमाटो है. हम लोग पहले जो है क्वांटिटी आधा किलो लेते थे, अभी 2 टमाटर में हम लोग कम चला रहे हैं.
Across India, it's a similar situation. In western UP's Hapur, 2,100 kilometers away from Bengaluru, Tomatoes retailed today for a whopping 200 rupees a kg. Tomato prices have soared in Karnataka. In June, it stood at 60 rupees, July 140 rupees. In Uttar Pradesh, 60 to 80 rupees in June, 150 to 200 rupees in July. Moving to Rajasthan, it was 40 rupees in June. Today, it is 160 rupees. And in Assam, 60 rupees in June and 120 rupees in July.
ये जो टमाटर है आज कितने रुपए किलो है आज टमाटर?
200 रुपए किलो भैया।
अच्छा, तो उससे पहले कितना बेचा आप लोगों ने?
नहीं, उससे पहले तो हम 80 रुपए किलो 60 रुपए किलो बहुत बिकता था, लेकिन अब सारे दिन में 2-3 करेट बिकते हैं।
अच्छा,
जब बिकती थी 10-12 करेट।
अच्छा,
50-60 रुपए किलो में।
Even the Department of Consumer Affairs has now stepped in to stabilize prices. They have asked for increased procurement from Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh and are planning to distribute at discounted prices according to a press release.
Most vegetable vendors in Bengaluru claim that all their earnings are exhausted in procuring tomatoes. Around 70% of vegetables are transported to Bengaluru from Kolar. And with prices of these tomatoes standing at 140 rupees per kg, these vendors also say that they can hardly make even a profit of 10 rupees. With camera person Kumar, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
Is there trouble in the Maharashtra government? Despite several meetings, the top leaders, no word on the much-awaited cabinet expansion. A massive headache for Chief Minister Eknath Shinde as Ajit Pawar and his group of rebels are awaiting portfolios after they were sworn in, while several leaders from the Shiv Sena are also waiting for their promised plum positions.
4 meetings in just a week between the Maharashtra top leadership, but still no allocation of portfolios to Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar and 9 other NCP MLAs who were made ministers after they switched over 10 days ago. Allotting work to Ajit Pawar and the other new ministers is not Chief Minister Eknath Shinde's only headache. Heavyweight MLAs within his party, like Bharat Gogawale, who is also the chief whip of the Shiv Sena in the Maharashtra Assembly, says he has been promised a minister's post too.
मैं पहले 9 में था ही, लेकिन मैं रुक गया था एक कारण से वजह से। अभी वैसे कुछ बात है नहीं, अभी जो हो जाएगा उसमें हमारा नंबर लग जाएगा।
Sources say while Ajit Pawar is demanding bigger and better portfolios for his MLAs, the BJP and the Shiv Sena want to keep strong portfolios to themselves. During the Shiv Sena rebellion, Eknath Shinde had alleged that Ajit Pawar, the then finance minister, withheld constituency funds for Shinde faction MLAs.
प्रत्येकाला असं वाटतं की अजितदादाकडे वित्त खातं नाही गेलं पाहिजे कारण मागच्या वेळेस त्यांनी तशा प्रकारचा जो कारनामा केला तर ते यावेळेस झालं नाही पाहिजे अशी अपेक्षा आहे भीती आहे आमदारांना.
The opposition is now attacking the Maharashtra government over the delay in cabinet expansion.
जो सब एमएलए लेके गए हो उनको खोके के साथ आश्वासित किया है कि मिनिस्टर बनाएंगे. खोका दिया आश्वासित किया, खोका दिया आश्वासित किया. अब अभी तो सबको कैसे मिनिस्टर बनाएंगे? एक लिमिट के आगे तो नहीं जा सकते. कैसे बनाएंगे? मालूम नहीं कैसे बनाएंगे. पोर्टफोलियो कैसे देंगे? वो झगड़ा तो पोर्टफोलियो का भी चल रहा है.
While the Maharashtra government is trying to portray itself more powerful than before after the increase in the number of MLAs, it seems like the tussle for the ministerial post has also increased as the number of MLAs have increased. The state leadership has so far failed to find a solution to this problem, and now it seems like the senior leaders in Delhi will be taking the final decision over cabinet expansion and portfolio distribution. In Mumbai with Sunil Singh and camera person Rajendra Dayalkar, Sohit Mishra, NDTV.
In other news, the decision by the GST Council to bring 28% GST on online gaming, casinos and horse racing has been met with criticism, with companies calling it a step towards destroying the online gaming industry, and they now plan to approach the government. Well, to talk more about the impact the GST increase will have on the online gaming industry, we're joined by Ashneer Grover. Thank you so much for speaking to us. You tweeted, RIP online gaming industry, and many have been calling this the death knell. But will it be that bad, or are these predictions premature right now?
So, if I look at what's come out yesterday, it is bad. because what the government is saying that any game you join, you keep 28% aside for the government. Right? Now you have to understand, first of all, you have clubbed online gaming with gambling and horse racing, right? Which is not true. That's not the view of the Supreme Court of India. Supreme Court of India has also differentiated it as a game of skill. So that's the first problem we have. 27.6% as an industry, we are already paying tax. So what's the point of introducing another 28% on top of it?
Well, the finance minister also spoke about, the moral issue, and she says that I can't obviously increase taxes on other essential items, and that's why, tax has to be increased here. What would your response be to that? Because this is something, the gaming industry is something the Prime Minister too has spoken about.
The whole regulation on the industry has been built in courts. Right? There are case laws on which the whole industry is based. So you are unwilling to legislate in the first place, right? And now what you're doing is by a commercial action, which is imposing 28% GST, you are now taking a moral stand that this industry is bad and we need to ban it. If it is so bad, call it gambling and ban it, right? Come straight at us.
And so is there any recourse now? You must be having discussions regarding this. Is there any sort of, approach to the government, or will this just mean that many of these online gaming industries will have to move out of the country, which anyway, many of them are based in Singapore and Dubai?
No, so we're hoping there is recourse, right? As an industry, we would want to believe we have a voice. So what we are planning as course of action is to go to Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar ji at MeitY, right? He's our nodal point of contact. And through him, represent to Ministry of Finance on how what they are proposing is a death knell. And instead of getting them tax or more tax, as they would want it to believe, it's actually going to get them zero tax. Because the fact is that if this is how they want the tax regime to be, no one is going to put even a single penny more on any online game. So 28% of zero is also zero, 100% of zero is also zero, right? So you're going to get zero out of it. So you are actually looking at complete destruction of the industry, at least 5 to 10,000 people directly and indirectly employed, getting out of employment. But when it comes to regulations, we are treated like stepchildren, right? We are completely dispensable. And we are at the receiving end rather than at the conversation end of things, as far as the government is concerned.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ashwini Grover, for speaking to us here at NDTV.